Yeah, I think the spring game for us is an opportunity, and I shared with the guys an opportunity for us to go out and compete. Today, in terms of our culture of our football program, we have core values. Today is Grateful Saturday, and it's just a grateful that we have the opportunity to go out and compete. So we're appreciative of that, and an opportunity for us to continue to get better. And that's the focus each and every day, to go out there and be the best versions of ourselves that we can be. And that's the goal of the game. And you can see we split it up offensively, defensively, so we didn't have different guys in terms of trying to split up to two different teams, but to be able to play offense, defense, and continue just to use it as a practice day to continue to improve the football program.
Mike, you've been around now for a year, two. Just what's your thought of today, what you're trying to accomplish going out there?
What I was trying to accomplish today was show the coaches that I can play still with, from my knee injury, and they just coming in, showing that I can play and getting that starting role, or even rotate in.
What's with the coaching change, new staff coming in? Is everyone kind of at square one? Did you feel like you got kind of reproved yourself a little bit?
No, that's what I think, in my opinion.
Michael, a man of few words. Direct and to the point. We like that, though.
Ben and Riley, just being redshirt freshmen, not being able to play last year, what was today like to get out there for you guys?
It was awesome. It's our first real game reps. I mean, offense showed a lot, defense showed a lot. All the excitement, wearing our jerseys and stuff, it was nothing like it that we've experienced.
Yeah, just being able to prove ourselves, tell these coaches what we can do, and just go out there and have fun.
Coach, what do you do with the film from a game like that? Obviously, the conditions were, you're not going to face much of this, I would imagine. But how do you go through all of this now?
Well, our hope is that we do face some of these conditions in terms that we're playing, late into November and then December. Right? That's the goal of our football program, is to obviously the league, the Pioneer Football League, has a chance to get an automatic bid into the FCS playoffs, and our goal is to do that. We don't talk a lot about it. We just talk about being the best that we can that day. But we know, we're striving to win championships in terms of PFL championships. So hopefully we are playing in this weather. And I think the thing that these guys got to understand is that there's no excuses, right? The field is what it is, and we have to be able to play in any condition, any situations. And that's something that we talked about in first press conference, where we had injuries last year, and it's true, it's real. It's not something that's made up, but we have to get to a point where no matter what the situation, that be field conditions, that be injuries, we have to be able to adapt and overcome those situations.
I think football rules dictate we have to talk about quarterback before any other position. What did you see from Ben, and what did you see from the other guys today?
Yeah, I'd like to start with the defensive tackles, if you really would, or the O-line, but because that's, and we giggle about it, but that's really where the game is won and lost, is up front with the defensive line and offensive line, is in the trenches, and that will never change. As much as we want it to change, and we're talking about football on grass and up tempo, it will never change. It starts up front with the O-line and D-line, but obviously the quarterback position is a big position, and I fancy myself, and Ben will tell you this when I talk about it, but I fancy myself kind of a quarterback guy, even though I've always been on the defense. And I say that because what I want from those guys, it's a leadership position. And it can be done a bunch of different ways. Leadership doesn't mean that you're that guy out front and you're low vocal. You can do it so many different ways. And we've talked about that. Ben has done a nice job, very good, strong arm. Can make all the throws, kind of cliche, if you will, but he can. And the things that I can tell you right now, we need to continue to clean up footwork with him, and then continue to deliver, quick delivery. And he's aware of that. We've talked about it, but obviously his arm strength and his ability to make those throws. We saw that today in bad weather. And if we went back and as we watched the film, a number of those balls that he threw that were incomplete should have had an opportunity to be caught. And Ben, I appreciate Ben's approach. Very workmanlike. He'll talk to you and has a good personality, but his approach is very good in terms of very focused. Once you can see the want-to with Ben.
Riley, you ever played a football game like this weather?
No,
before?
sir. Yeah, being from Florida, definitely not.
If I can speak on Riley, I'm going to jump in here a little bit. And Riley is one of the guys, and again, I've shared this, but he's probably one of the guys that, I guess, I don't know, surprised or has really stood out in the spring. And it's awesome because of the situation he's in of Kyle Cartalis not fully participating in the spring, but just has had his opportunity has appeared, and his ability to show me as a coaching staff has had a very, very consistent spring all the way around in terms of his ability to run the football but catch it out of the backfield and good in pass pro. So very excited about what Riley's done this spring. And more importantly, in the classroom as well.
Coach Dan, I know your first game's still 4 or 5 months away. Do you have any idea what the top of the quarterback depth chart looks like after the last few weeks?
No, I don't have any idea what really any of the positions. I think Michael said it best. Michael kind of spoke for me a little bit that everybody's really at square one. We're continuing to evaluate. We'll evaluate in fall camp. Guys have asked me the same question, players, and what we want to see is we want to see consistency. Play at the level that you can play at. So wherever that level may be, we just need to see it on a consistent snap. So when we go out there, we know what we're going to get. That's the true sign of a really good football player.
Defensively speaking, were there any standouts for you from that perspective?
I mean, anytime, or just in general, or
Yeah, just in general.
in general, our defensive tackle position. We have some depth there. That we have some guys that I appreciate their toughness, their effort, their consistency. James Reed has shown that through camp. Drew Gedries has done that. So a couple of guys that just kind of come to mind. The linebacker position, Nick Turner. I don't even want to talk about him necessarily as a football player. I just enjoy being around him. Like when we go out to practice, he enjoys the journey, and we talk about that. He enjoys the day to day, and that's fun. He's a great teammate. And I share with people. I'm a phys ed health teacher, and if I was to pick another job, I'd be a PE teacher, coach football, high school football and basketball, and I want to be an elementary teacher. And why? Because those kids, younger guys, they love it, and they're great teammates, right? They're so excited to be there, and that's what Nick Turner brings to the football practice field. So he's done a good job. And then Laddie, we moved him to our nickel position. And has provided us a good competition there with Austin Petrie, who's played some snaps as well. So just a few guys, and there's more, but just a few to mention.
There seem to be a lot more deep balls today than at least what I'm used to seeing out there. Is that a product of the kind of offense that you guys want to run? Or is that the nature of the weather today? Let's just take deep shots and
I'd say a combination in terms of just what we're trying to do. I think any time that you stretch the field vertically as defensive backs, you're always aware, okay, hey, you have the ability or the possibility of a deep ball, which forces the defense, hey, to think about a little bit in terms of, hey, the potential's there versus, a horizontal passing game where everything's in front of you. It's a little easier as a defense to get your cleats in the ground. You can play downhill. And match routes and play the run game. So when you get stretched vertically, there's a thought with the defense that, hey, the possibility's there, but you still have to be able to play the run.
Mike, you picked one off. Just nice with it to make them pay a little bit for some of those deep passes.
I don't know. It was nice. But who threw it? Was it you?
It wasn't me.
Well, whoever threw it was right to me. So I just went up and grabbed it and tried to get my toes in, and that was it.
Ben, can you touch on just again airing it out a little bit? Is that fun as a quarterback?
It's really fun. I mean, I just think it plays to our strengths on offense, and we can pretty much do everything. But going out there today, that was one of the things we wanted to work on. So I think we did a pretty good job of that.
Riley, it seemed like you got a lion's share of the carries today. Did that feel like as close as you can get to as a game simulation where you're getting carry after carry kind of feeling?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
I guess how different did that feel than what you usually feel in like practice or?
Well, in practice we get like 3 reps and then we switch out. So it's going like 10 plus plays. It's like a game situation, so that feels good.
Coach, I imagine you poured through a lot of film of these guys from last season's games. How nice is it to build, I guess, your own library of film over these last 14 practices and today?
Well, you might actually be surprised. The one thing that I was strategic about, or I have not watched a bunch of film on them. I didn't want to have preconceived notions coming in, so really the only film that I've watched, a little bit here and there, but it is from when when I've seen them on film, from when I was at Dayton to when we had crossover games. It's when I got here, it was a fresh start for everyone, so I didn't want to have any kind of preconceived expectations or, hey, I'm here new, it's a fresh start, and their first chance with me was that day one of that opportunity when we got together as a team. So that pass, again, Michael kind of said it is, hey, you're back to square one in terms of you're trying to earn everything that you get, and that goes into our mantra in terms of, you hear us in terms of our 3,600, 3,600. That 3,600 represents inches from goal line to goal line. We got to earn every inch, and that's what the players got to do. Coaches have to do that as well.
And Coach, do you have a big takeaway just from the last few weeks of spring practice and the game today? Is there something that stood out to you, or just something you've noticed that you can go carry with you?
Yeah, the thing I'm most excited about is just our composure. The thing that we really stress early on is, there's going to be ups and downs, and we got to continue to just play at a consistent level. No highs, no lows. Be consistent in our approach. I talked to them a lot about, there's no panic. Just be confident in what we're doing. Our preparation, our confidence comes from our preparation. These guys will tell you in terms of practice, there's not a whole lot of standing around, a lot of movement, a lot of moving parts. We're trying to get guys reps because as much as we can sit there and talk to them in a film room or a meeting, they need to do it. And the more they do it, the more confident they will become.
Not to keep harping on the same position, but Jimmy looked like he was in uniform Seawall, but didn't play. Is he at a percent right now?
Jimmy's has done a tremendous job. We're continuing to work through his shoulder rehab. He takes snaps for us during practice, and he's actually thrown the ball some in practice as well. So he's done a great job in terms of his rehab and his ability to be ready for fall camp.